Okay, the studio debate tonight and facing each other straight in the studio. Gaurav Bhatia of the Samajwadi Party is taking on Sambit Patra of the BJP. Sushil Pandit, who has supported the BJP on several issues, independent activist, but has had serious problems with the BJP's position on Pakistan of late, is also squaring off with Sambit Patra, and to Sambit Patra's right, someone else who has been supportive of this government's position on internal security but has been very, very critical of it. In the last few days is Times Now's consulting editor, our most trusted voice in strategic affairs, Maroof, Raza. We'll have a couple of panelists joining us in some time. Rules of engagement simple. We are sitting next to each other. We make strong points to each other. There's live voting. I personally will begin by revealing my own prejudice on the subject quite clearly. I'm prejudiced towards what is the interest of the nation, and I believe the interest of the nation is best served in not talking to Pakistan now. Right. Why did it take you so long to do that, Sambit Patra? You seem to be responding to media and public pressure, which is ironical, and you could have done this many days back.
Right from the day one, the government had maintained that let the combat operation on the ground and the combing operations be over, and then we are going to react to the talks.
So are the talks off now? Are the talks off now?
Absolutely clear words. The Minister of External Affairs spokesperson, Maroof, mentioned that we have given them actionable intelligence. We want prompt and decisive action from Pakistan. If they do not deliver, then we will speak on the issue.
Delivery? What is delivery? Tell me exactly what is delivery.
The delivery is acting promptly and decisively on the actionable intelligence.
Define it, don't keep it broad. Does it make sense, Gaurav, to keep it broad and open-ended in the way that Sambit is tonight?
I would say that there was complete lack of clarity. Second, I think everyone felt let down because here was a prime ministerial candidate who talked about delivering, being chowkidar, desh ka chowkidar. And these people could enter the Indian territory, reach such a sensitive area, and it took such a long time to even ensure that they are killed. So I would only say,
to this.
Can I just complete myself?
No, the point is, I think viewers,
the Home Minister knew less than the Home Secretary.
So you're being accusatory to Sambit tonight, but are you being permanently accusatory for the sake of it?
I am asking questions that the nation is asking.
What is your question?
I am talking about...
What is your question? Ask him directly. Ask him directly.
Why are you jeopardizing national security because of lack of clarity?
Who is jeopardizing the national security? I'll tell you. This is one of the most successful operations which was mounted against terror attacks. We had 6 Fidayans attacking the country's military asset. And look how the government has successfully saved the strategic asset of the country.
This
is one of the most successful
and you call it a successful operation? I would ask you, why did these people enter? Was it not an intelligence failure? Leave alone the operation.
No, that's not the issue tonight. No, Gaurav, what's it? Rules of engagement when I come in. I'll try and intervene less 1 minute. But when I intervene, you must let me come in.
Please.
That's my only point. You can argue, but when I intervene, allow me. See, the point is this. My point is, it's okay. Nawaz Sharif and the Pakistan government are saying we'll act. But Maroof, what is acting? Specifically, what is acting? 4 days after the Peshawar school attack, which India condemned, and all the people of India wept with the people of Pakistan when it happened. 4 days after that, all the suspects had been rounded up. In this case, we have given information of the airbase where the attack happened. The people who planned it. We know the operational head of Jaish-e-Mohammed. We know Masood Azhar. We know he's loose in southern Pakistan. We know their supporters. We know the ISI role. Not one suspect has been rounded up. And yet the government of India is saying this time that they're not saying no to the talks. They're keeping an open-ended, saying the ball is in Pakistan's court. Is that firm enough in your view?
No, not at all. I think there's too much being attributed to Mr. Modi's visit to Lahore. I personally feel one prime ministerial visit doesn't alter relationships dramatically. If you go back in the past, Mr. Rajiv Gandhi made 3 visits to Pakistan 25 years later.
Right.
We are still struggling with the same Pakistan, with the same narrative. The second point to understand is that in the case of 16 December attacks in Pakistan, the army chief, within double quick time of the attacks, he made a trip to Kabul and then got the Afghan government on board. He ordered troops in. Here there is a complete, still from the army, a sense of denial in Pakistan that who is involved quite clearly. I mean, Arnab, I just want to draw a few parallels. One, in the case of 2611, the ISI had put it in motion. It is just a coincidence that Kayani moved a DG ISI to Army Chief. So Shuja Pasha, who came in, didn't know that the operations were planned and exercised in such detail. It took him by surprise, and that's why he was the first guy who went running to meet Zikrul Rahman Lakwi at Adiala jail to say, boss, what happened? Who's involved?
No, Maroof,
so therefore, in the similar thing here, this has been put into place well before Modi's visit to Pakistan. My assessment is, I may be proved wrong, and this has gone again out of control.
That's not the issue. No, we're digressing.
Yeah,
no, I said rules of engagement. When I come in,
I'm making
rules
a
of engagement
point.
Tonight.
I'm just making a central point that there is no need to expect Pakistan to deliver yesterday, today, or tomorrow. Right. Their narrative will continue. It hasn't changed, and it is not going to change.
I'd say this government of Pakistan, Sambit, this government of Pakistan does not want.
We'll have to wait for the next step to unfold.
What is the next step, and how many days are you willing to give the Pakistanis? How many days are you willing to give the Pakistanis to act? Why don't you just say call off the talks for now?
It has.
Why don't you call off the talks?
Categorically, please allow me,
Mr. Patra. If you're convinced, Mr. Patra,
why are you keeping it open-ended?
Just a quick. No.
Why are you keeping it open-ended?
If you're convinced, you have all the evidence in the world. What are you waiting for somebody to come with a magic wand to tell you that now call off the talks? You have the evidence.
Call it off.
Put it across to Pakistan. You say, sort it out, take action, be firm. Because when you talk, you are playing to the army's agenda. They want talks on Kashmir. They want talks on Siachen because they're on the back foot there.
Maroof. Initially, I mean, you were asking us to why we are having all these talks.
All of the talks.
The talks were for terror. And if Pakistan does not act on terror, the terror which has
so much time,
the terror which has been propagated by them, naturally Pakistan should act heavily on these terrorists. If they do not act, if they do not act promptly, if they do not act decisively, naturally, they'll have to face the consequences.
The Pakistan Army Chief, in the same breath, has today said that we are against terror, but our country is firmly secure and we will be the guardians of our frontiers. Saying, therefore, that we are addressing terror as it suits us. They have got an American approach to terror.
They have this approach,
that their enemy is the enemy who attacks them. Their enemy is not the global enemy.
It's natural that India is going to take note of it. Let me also remind you, Mr.
No, I want to know when the government will be specific. You see, 1 second.
One second.
Sambit,
what is the specificity?
I'll tell you what is specific. Now, I'm being told by government sources that the government Prime Minister has told Nawaz Sharif that I want Peshawar-type action against those in Pathankot, which means it can't be business as usual. And not just that, there can be no denial from Pakistan. So if we really want to read the Riot Act to them, which we are being told that the Prime Minister virtually read the Riot Act to Nawaz Sharif, then we need to know what the action in Peshawar was. Right. Pakistan will not take the kind of action that is expected in Peshawar within 4 days of the attack that took place in Peshawar on December 18th, 2014, several suspects have been rounded up. Sushil, has there been one suspect rounded up by Pakistan in the case of the Pathankot attack?
Not at all.
Why should we settle for anything less? Why should we settle for anything short of the action that they took in Peshawar?
Why do
why aren't we calling off the talks?
Who is objecting to that?
But you are prevaricating.
We have given them an opportunity to act. Act or else we are going to see.
And when, how much time?
What is that law? And that's why these two words, prompt and decisive, were used.
This is the problem.
It has to be prompt, it has to be prompt, and it has to be decisive. This was answered by Vikas Swarup. It is not a time frame, but prompt by common sense means prompt.
This is not the time to wait and say that we will act.
Solution for the Prime Minister.
No, once again.
My face-saving solution for the Prime Minister: meet Mr. Nawaz Sharif every other month wherever you want to, but don't have comprehensive foreign secretary level talks, because that is what they want. Prime Ministerial meetings are not about details. The devil is in the details. So you want to meet the other, you want to be seen as a global statesman.
Can only happen when there is no ceasefire violation, when soldiers are not getting killed, and when incidents of this nature happen. I think this is the time to give a strong message to Pakistan that we will counter these attacks. And this message is not going because this government does not not have a clear foreign policy. They lack clarity.
Let me tell you,
They
in
lack clarity.
defense of the government, weren't you talking to Pakistan when you had ceasefire violations?
Tell me this, that over the past few months, have we not seen increase in the number of ceasefire violations?
Oh, those are relative. Those are not relative.
I think it is time to take a strong stand.
One violation is a violation. Whether you have 100 or one, it's a violation.
We will not engage in dialogue when there are these aberrations happening every day. And these are very serious in nature.
I want to ask a question. Gaurav, what is the end result that you want? Gaurav, tell me what is the end result you want? You want this just a second, sir. I am asking a very pertinent question, Gaurav. You will be lost in the din. If you are serious about this issue, please, Gaurav. If you are serious about this issue, please answer.
Why does Sushil Pandit pull back?
And he doesn't know what to do.
That was your stance. But Mr. Yusuf Jilani, did he come with an agenda? He came for
I have a
biryani.
very serious question, sir.
And you made a song and dance about Pakistani Prime Minister. Where was the agenda then?
If UPA committed a mistake, then BJP government should also be allowed to commit a mistake.
No, I'm just saying.
I think they promised a better government. They promised a stronger government.
Don't throw stones at others when you live in glass houses.
No, it's not about Maroof. The nation cannot suffer because the previous government was incompetent.
Am I allowed to do that?
BJP does not have
calm
clarity
down. Don't have to shout for it. You don't have to shout
No
for
government
this.
in India has had clarity.
Then
Let me tell you, sir. Let me tell you, sir. I can give you para chapter and verse of India-Pakistan relations. Manmohan Singh at once said, after 26/11, Manmohan Singh said you can't use terror as an extension of policy. Then in Bhutan you say we have a trust deficit. Then you do Sharm el-Sheikh. Then you offer them biryani. So where was their consistency in your policy?
The BJP government would also
However, I am not defending the BJP government. I am saying they have also run out of ideas. It's a bankruptcy on ideas to say that you should keep talking to Pakistan.
I don't like the language being used. Gentlemen, rules of engagement tonight, I don't want to speak of. We are all sitting together. We're sitting in one studio, and I want to take the opportunity of saying when I come in, please listen to me. Rules of engagement tonight, we let each other speak. Now,
you never let me speak. As yet, I've not been speaking. I want to answer.
Sambit Patra. Just one minute.
Maroof has gone to the extent of saying that there's bankruptcy of ideas when we have never seen such kind of ideas.
I will allow you. Now the point I'm making.
I have my right to
Sambit,
make
you have a right to respond. You have a right to feel hurt. You have a right to respond. That's right. But the Indian Prime Minister's response, Gaurav Bhatia, for your kind information, in Parliament House in March 2010, when he virtually made it clear in that terrible Manishankar Iyer approach of an uninterruptible dialogue process, people can be killed, soldiers can be killed, soldiers can be beheaded, but we will have an uninterrupted and uninterruptible dialogue process. That is the most compromised foreign policy position that I've ever heard of.
Right.
And I know that how insulted I felt as an Indian when the Sharm el-Sheikh disaster happened, that dealing terror and talks, a man called Manmohan Singh went and compromised our position at that point of time. So, Gaurav Bhatia, you weren't so belligerent then. So just keep that in mind. Sambit's turn to respond.
Sambit's turn to respond.
Sambit's turn to respond. Responding to you.
Look, I mean, what is the end result?
You can address him directly, but don't speak over.
Yes, Gaurav. Look, I mean, after this Pathankot attack, I mean, look at the kind of response the government has given. After the combat operation, immediately, the evidences have been handed over to Pakistan. Remember, when the heads were beheaded, remember when 26/11 was happening, in fact, for months together, this was not handed over to Pakistan. Here is a government which within a week time...
So call it off,
in fact, just a second.
No, but why are you calling it off?
Evidences. We want prompt and decisive action. Is this small? If they don't act, what is the end result? You want action against terrorists? You want the terrorists to be hanged as was hanged in the Peshawar incident?
No, I'll tell you what we want. I'll tell you what we want. You are asking rhetorical questions that deserve to be answered. You ask a rhetorical question and I'm answering you tonight, Sambit. Sambit, you are asking a rhetorical question and I want one second. Sushil Pandit will come in next. He hasn't spoken. Good rhetorical question. I want to know, India wants to know, the whole country wants to know, what is the definition of prompt action, Mr. Patra? And if you're talking about immediate action, The whole country wants to know what is your timeline for immediate action. In the context of the Pakistanis, in 3 days they round up the suspects. That's called immediate action. Today we say, Vikas Swarup says the Ministry of External Affairs is waiting for Pakistan to take concrete action on the actionable intelligence that has been provided to them before taking a concrete decision of talks. I don't know why the government of India leaves their foreign policy hinged on an open-ended and completely loosely defined expectation from a terrorist state, which is a global history cheater in betraying us, on action on terrorist elements. I don't know anyone except the government of India which will say, I'm waiting for Godot to take action before they take their decision. I want it to be time-bound. I put that question to every Indian tonight. Don't you want it to be time-bound? You want it to be time-bound. I expect Sambit Patra.
Time-bound.
Prompt is time-bound. What is prompt?
It is not indefinite.
It is not. He doesn't agree.
No,
He's laughing at
prompt
me.
is not indefinite.
just a moment.
Neither is it infinite. Prompt by common sense means quickly.
Pandit is
It means
Sambit,
quickly.
don't you get a sense?
It's
but natural that this action has to be within a few days. It should not be dragged for months or
Just a
years
moment.
together.
I'm surprised you don't get a sense of deja vu. This is not the first time India has offered actionable evidence to Pakistan.
It's not that.
This is not the first time.
But
hear me out.
Saying that
Hear me
you
out.
have to take a
This is
prompt
not
and decisive action after intelligence.
Just a moment.
Otherwise, there would be consequences that you would meet. That is for the first time the government has done.
Which is what you are saying.
Not done.
Which is not what Vikas Swarup
What
is saying.
Vikas Swarup said.
Vikas Swarup has put talks on hold.
No announcements
And
made.
two,
The ball is in Pakistan's court.
there is
It is
no
as clear as
connection
that.
between the
The
two.
ball is in Pakistan's court. What does this phrase mean?
This phrase means that I do not connect the future course of talks with what action you take and when you take it.
That means
there is no clear connection.
There should be action.
It is not
or
conditional.
else. There is
no or else.
No,
you are offering or else.
What does ball in your court mean?
Ball in your court
Remember,
means
ball
please
in
take
your
action.
court. Remember, ball in your court was the phrase used during the NSA talks initially also, and there Pak in fact has lost out.
I don't know.
We were
I don't know. I
absolutely
don't
clear
know.
in our red lines. I see this as a red line.
Let's go beyond.
I'm sorry, I don't. I'm sorry, I don't. One sec, Sushil Pandit. I'm sorry. One sec.
I see this as a red line. Maroof, don't you see
I
this
think
as a
these
red
are
line?
semantics.
No, he doesn't see it as a red line.
I don't know
and
why.
he'll seek Maroof's
Ball is
approval
in
because he
your
doesn't.
court. And when it's said,
These are semantics. I need to make just one important point, and that should go beyond scoring debating points. You must see a pattern in this. This is the 5th attack, not across LOC, but across international border, which is not in dispute. 3 attacks took place in Jammu across international border, which is Samba, Katwa, and Hiranagar. 2 attacks, one after the other, took place across Gurdaspur and Pathankot. They are violating international border. Number two.
And I want to add to that.
Arnab.
If I may, Sushil, I have a question and 2 points to make. I want your patience. Viewers, I will just ask one question to Sambit Patra, who says to you tonight that the ball being in Pakistan's court is a damn big thing. That's what Sambit Patra thinks. So Sambit, I have a question for you on behalf of all the viewers of the Newshour tonight. The ball is in Pakistan's court, and you think it's a damn big thing. Congratulations.
On dozens of issues.
Congratulations, Sambit Patra. What is the date today? What is the date today, Mr. Patra?
it's an even number.
6.
Today is the 7th of January, 2016.
It's an odd number then.
Thank you. Yes. You're getting confused somehow.
No, because of this odd number, even
Arvind Kejriwal's really got you confused. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is tonight, Sambit Patra, was the ball in Pakistan's court on the 1st of December 2008? Was the ball in Pakistan's court on the 1st of December 2008? Yes or no? Simple question.
But was there any consequence which was to follow thereafter?
And what is the guarantee of a consequence now?
On those consequences
And
thereafter?
what is the guarantee of a consequence now?
There's no guarantees
When
in
you
the
say
diplomatic
tonight,
world.
the point that I'm making to you, Sambit, the point that I'm making to you...
Why jump the gun
I don't
into
jump
a
guns.
speculative situation?
I don't
which
jump
has not
guns.
been
No. I
announced?
need to complete this point. I'm handing it over to you guys. One second. Sambit,
The
you need to
ME's
understand this.
spokesperson made it quite clear.
One second. Viewers, the point I'm making to Sambit Patra, with all seriousness tonight, is he accepts that the ball was in Pakistan's court after the 26/11 attack on the 1st of December 2008. The ball is in Pakistan's court on the 7th of January, 2016.
No, but you have
and
to,
he expects us to be celebrating tonight that the ball was in Pakistan's court then, and the ball is in Pakistan's court now. I don't know anyone who's got their foreign policy fundamentals so wrong as you have tonight.
I tell
you expect us to celebrate when the ball has been in their court then and now. So Sambit Patra,
Sambit, Mr. Goswami, hear me out. Hear me out. You made a wrong point. Let me point out.
I think that question is really
in 2611 case, though the ball is in Pakistan's court, up till now Pakistan has not delivered. There was no time limit. This time the ball is in Pakistan's court and two more words have been attached to Pakistan. Prompt and decisive. We want prompt actions, which means by common sense, quick actions and decisive action, which means the actions which show muscle of Pakistan. If you don't follow this, then we are going to retaliate. We are going to give you a big
Sambit Patra, since you hinge your argument on the use of certain words, prompt and decisive, would you please to take the people of India and the viewers of Newshour into confidence on whether the previous Congress government asked for delayed and indecisive action? I mean, don't play around with words with me tonight.
Have you ever heard when the Pakistani Prime Minister would give a call to the Indian Prime Minister during the combat operation? Have you ever heard that the Pakistan... Have you ever heard?
Yes, I have.
Pakistan has been forced on its knees. Pakistan has been forced on its knees to think about action against the terrorists.
I find it so funny. I think it is so funny that Prime Minister of Pakistan makes a call
and you think it is sufficient action
would be
and you are preaching peace over here. Gaurav, look after Uttar Pradesh. You are unable to control communal tension in Uttar Pradesh. Why are you preaching diplomacy over here? Go and control communal tension in Uttar Pradesh. Then preach diplomacy. Go and control communal tension in Uttar Pradesh. Thereafter preach diplomacy. Don't talk on diplomacy when Uttar Pradesh is burning. Go and control Uttar Pradesh first. Preach diplomacy thereafter.
Has he assured the nation what is the stand of the government as of today? I'm asking you, what is the stand of the government? Gaurav, is this enough that the ball has been shifted to Pakistan's
you wanted the terrorists lodged in the jails of Uttar Pradesh to be set.
I think
what is come on? What is come on?
You are deviating from the topic. I ask you.
Terror. I'm talking about terror who were lodged in jails. You wanted them free on the streets, and here you are contesting us.
I want your government. I want our government. One second, Sambit, let me tell you the expectation of the people of this country.
This is the only government which will meet the expectation of the people of this country. I can say that.
And by the way, every government has said that in the past.
We are not the Sharm el-Sheikh government. Remember, we are never compare this government with the government which did Sharm el-Sheikh.
What kind of
compare that.
Is this?
We are a patriotic government. We know how to deal with Pakistan. I tell you, I through your channel, I assure the viewers, please be assured. This is Narendra Modi. This is not Manmohan Singh. He is going to show you how to deal with terrorism.
Where is he? Has he made a statement on this, on the issue?
Does Mulayam Singh know how many borders the country shares?
Now you want to talk.
Does Mulayam Singh know how many countries India shares borders with? Does Ram Gopal Yadav knows about diplomacy? Ram Gopal Yadav does not know D of diplomacy, and here is
rules of engagement. Rules of engagement. One of the rules of engagement tonight. One of the rules.
What is the stand of the Prime Minister? Would dialogues take place, or would they call off the dialogues? That is the question he needs to answer.
Rules of engagement tonight, Gaurav, just for a minute. I want two panelists to speak a little bit more. Sushil Pandit has not spoken, making his debut appearance on the Newshour debate tonight. And have that glass of water, Sambit. Please take your time. Is Professor Ajay Darshan Behera of the Center for Pakistan Studies at Jamia Millia Islamia University. Now, before I go to you, gentlemen, Sambit, please understand that I have a problem with...
You don't allow us to have a glass of water. Leave aside allowing us to speak.
I will give you more than a glass of water if you want, but all that I want you to know is to tell your Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson, Vikas Swaroop, that Indians feel extremely upset with the kind of prevarication, nervousness that he shows in the use of language while talking about Pakistan, and almost apologetic. Allow me to complete and then you interrupt me. Please don't interrupt me till I complete. I think the language used by the Ministry of External Affairs after this attack is apologetic for having to say something with Pakistan. He says government of India is not, quote, derailing anything. Quote, foreshadowing anything. C, imposing any deadlines. I mean, this approach is one of prevarication. Yes. We are treating Pakistan with velvet gloves. This is a language of diplomatic fear, and it is a verbal nervous twitch. And I don't like that verbal nervous twitch of the Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson. He must speak a language that speaks of a country that has some confidence. But this language, even in the aftermath of a terror attack, Sushil Pandit, and I can get Professor Ajay Darshan Behera on this, makes one look that, oh my God, we are so sorry in South Block that we are having to take you on. We wish we could continue that candy floss diplomacy, you know, the Manishankar Iyer type cocktail diplomacy, life is well, track 2, track 3 approach where, you know, you can continue to talk. This wait and watch approach in the language is something that offends a lot of Indians. Doesn't it offend you? Professor Ajay Darshan Behera, what is your take on it? What's your take on it? Are you satisfied with that language? Would you want it to be even softer? Professor Behera, welcome.
Not necessary, but at the same time, I think, you know, in the world of diplomacy, you have to have certain amount of flexibility. You take extreme positions.
What flexibility do you want us to give Pakistan now after the attack?
Well, let me speak a couple of sentences. The flexibility is this, that, you know, you put red lines to them at this point of time. I mean, if you want to tell them that how we deliver within a couple of days and all, and if they don't deliver, what do you do then? I think you need a certain amount of flexibility.
What flexibility?
Approach.
We should give them, we should be absolutely inflexible with them. I don't understand why we can't, why we need to give them flexibility after this. This is counterproductive for national interest.
No, you don't.
I don't know what kind of diplomacy you're talking about, Professor.
If you don't be flexible, you can again get stuck in a position.
Flexible in what way? I'm sorry, but this is an extremely academic approach to a real life situation, Maroof, isn't it?
Arnab,
Maroof is extremely academic.
In the real world.
I just want to respond.
Yeah, go on.
I want to bring out, firstly, I'd request the two senior political representatives of their parties. This is not a political issue. This is a national security issue.
Absolutely.
Let us not bring in this, that, and the other, what is going on right now in the political arena. That will continue to be, India is a cacophony of political
Let's go
voices.
back to the debate.
The specific thing I wish the viewers to understand, that South Bloc has always been apologetic when dealing with Pakistan.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it is a tragedy. Go back into the history of India-Pakistan. Secondly, those who think talks and terror are only things that Pakistan is going to talk about,
let's go back to the debate.
You're whistling in the dark.
Absolutely.
Because it is illusionary. The Pakistan Army's extended arm are the jihadis.
Absolutely.
Just like the Air Force is an arm of the armed forces, the Navy is an arm of the armed forces, the Pakistan Army has thrown a new strategic dimension, which is the jihadi. It's been there for 2-3 decades.
And we are not discovering it for the first time.
I want to bring out your Mr. Pandit's point about Punjab. 2 reasons. One is that J&K grid and operations are so firm that Pakistan's not having much luck there. And the gap through which they infiltrated now, as the gap through which they infiltrated for Gurdaspur, that remains a big gap on the border fencing without cameras even working. And there is just a formal report now which has been given by the BSF to the government. And I don't see any reason why nobody woke up between 26 July and
no, but
which means, Maroof,
so therefore,
they don't even need an excuse.
It is not just Punjab police. There is a complete, a blasé approach to national security, which I'm not saying rests with the political party in power, but there are a lot of heads that must roll.
Two things. Which means now they don't
Sushil
even.
Pandit, you can address Sambit Patra directly.
Yes. You see, the point is,
sir, I agree. They have to make heads roll.
Maroof, the point is, they don't even now need Jammu and Kashmir so-called dispute as an excuse. They don't need LOC as a nomenclature excuse. They are transgressing the settled border, international border. Number 2, they are not taking soft targets. They are engaging our defense establishment. They are attacking cantonments. They are attacking air bases. They are attacking army formations. You have to bear this in mind. There is a signal coming to you. They are engaging with your defense apparatus in order to say that they can go to any extent. If there is a bit of daring there. And if you still search for flexibility, I may have to tell Professor that sometimes spine comes in the way of flexibility. Would you like to take the spine out of your diplomacy and be flexible like rubber?
I can't agree with you more. So my question to Sambit Patra is
Can I respond to
one
that,
second,
Arnab?
please. 1 second. We are going back to Sambit Patra, and as I said, we are going back to the debate. Sambit, let's be real tonight. I don't want to be caught in an academic debate on this subject. What is flexibility? What is not flexibility? How flexible should we be? Should we give leeway? What is leeway, etc., etc.? I'm sorry, I, like the rest of the people of this country, am not interested in a theoretical debate on international relations at this point of time. Sambit Patra, the Foreign Secretary level talks are due on the 15th of this month, right? Today is the 7th of this month. Why is the government so scared of saying that if you don't act, say, by the 13th, the talks will be off? So give a 6-day deadline. What's the problem?
No, why should we be so impatient when the government has almost, when the government has almost said it?
After what happened in Pathankot, you are asking.
The government has in fact warned Pakistan, take action or else you face consequences.
It's not said it.
And prompt and decisive
I'm sorry, it's not said it. It's not said it. It's not said it. My fundamental, no, one second, Maroof, factual point, Maroof, watch it. Maroof, factual point.
What is the timeline?
You have asked me a question.
I have a factual point to you, Sambit, before you respond. The government of India has not set a deadline. The people of India want a deadline set for the government of Pakistan.
And consequences
the people of
spelled
India
out.
want a deadline set, A. B, the consequences of action by that deadline not being met set out.
Absolutely.
The people of India want to know that there is a cost to spilling Indian blood in a military airbase or anywhere in this country. They want the government of India not to use this apologetic, elitist, Gymkhana circuit language when the MEA spokesperson said, I'm not going to parse the definition of prompt, whether prompt means 72 hours, 5 days or 7 days. Prompt means prompt. I don't think prompt means prompt. The Pakistani definition of prompt is that, no, 1 second. If Pakistan has not acted in 10 years, no, sorry. What is the Pakistani definition of prompt? Don't you know that the Pakistanis vis-a-vis terror have a different definition of prompt? I want you as an Indian government to define the definition of prompt to the government of Pakistan.
I'll tell you
what is the definition of prompt?
I'll tell you.
What is the definition?
Definitely prompt does not run into months or years.
Days.
It doesn't even run into days, probably it runs into hours, probably because of the very fact.
No, probably is not a word we are going to
because of the very fact that you have to understand. You are talking all this vis-a-vis 15th of this month, is it not? If you are talking all this in context.
What's wrong with that?
Yes.
What's wrong with that?
If you are hinging everything on this exact word, vis-a-vis 15th of this month, naturally prompt means within 15th. It is as cool as that.
Oh, so you are saying
understandable as that.
Arnab, Mr. Patra. Mr. Patra, okay, I concede your definition is what I'm going to be hinging my hopes on. But let me ask you a simple question. We called off the talks last time for frivolous reasons because the High Commissioner met this Hurriyat lot and then we said,
frivolous,
okay, talks.
But then you
Hold it. Now, this is Indian blood involved.
Yes.
And you are still finding it difficult to call off the talks?
Not at all. Not at all.
So a handshake with the Hurriyat is more serious. Handshake with the Hurriyat is more serious than 6-7 Indian lives.
Question. Allow me to answer this very important question. Maroof, now tell me. Terrorists have attacked a country, terrorists from across the border, that is from Pakistan. What is the prime aim? The prime aim is to get hold of these terrorists, to show them their places, that is the gallows.
By when?
And we have given the opportunity to Pakistan. Act or else we will act. Act or else we will act.
When is the question?
No.
When?
If they don't act, please wait for the befitting reply of this government. I told you, and I'm telling you again, this is Modi, this is not Manmohan Singh. Have faith on this government. This government is a different government. This government is the only government which has muscles to act against Pakistan.
If this government, this policy, sorry, 1 second, rules of engagement. If this policy is so muscular, then I want to ask you why the Ministry of External Affairs not even once has squarely condemned Islamabad's apathy to deal with cross-border terrorism thus far in this incident, given that Pathankot came less than 6 months after the attack along in Gurdaspur.
Now, how else do you condemn? You give them the actionable evidence. You tell them to act promptly or decisively or else meet the consequences. How else? Why condemn? We have in fact pointed fingers towards them and we have challenged them.
They don't get the message.
No. We have challenged them. Act promptly and decisively or else. There's always an or else. Wait for the or else.
Mr.
Patra, you have the evidence. You have. I just want to ask the audience. You have the evidence, like you had the evidence of the High Commissioner meeting the Hurriyat. That was good enough for you to call off the talks within minutes. You have the evidence of them using terror to kill 6 Indian soldiers, or 7, and you are still waiting for them to react on this.
You remember during this call-off that you were talking about, the NSA level talks, and before that, the secretary level talk with the Hurriyat, we gave them time for 3 days. That if you meet them, we are not going to hold the talks.
Arnab,
they met, we cancelled the talks.
I believe
you remember, 3 days,
Arnab,
3 days deadline was given. We told them promptly
why you are in
that
the dock
you do
tonight?
not have to meet these people.
Your
the
3 days,
Over
your
here,
3 days
we have
in
again
this case,
given them time.
Mr. Patra, your 3 days in this case are up.
Yeah, absolutely. And your 3 days in this case are absolutely up. And Maroof is right. You know, Sambit, why you're in the dock tonight?
Today the press conference
why you're in the dock.
And I told you, if you are hinging the talks to 15th, then you have to wait. I have given you a definition of prompt.
I am talking from 1st January to now, it's 7 days, ladies and gentlemen. 7 days. We are not talking when the first bullet is fired, operations unfold.
Maroof, you told yourself that we were waiting. In fact, Times was also waiting
for the
combat operation to be over. And then you were asking us questions.
What surprises me, Maroof?
The priority was to finish the combat operation and thereafter move to the next step.
What surprises
we have acted in accordance with the rules.
In low intensity conflicts, combat operations never ends.
But you were saying it's one of the highest intensity operations.
No, this is not. Please let me define what is low intensity operations. Irregular troops, battles of attrition, enemy not clearly defined.
I don't understand. At one point of time you say this is the biggest attack, and the other point of time you say it's a low intensity attack.
Let me tell you.
You should have gone ahead. This is not so important. I don't understand that.
I've done a lot of work on the subject.
Surely,
between a bomb blast and a large Mumbai type attack, these are all low intensity. Mid intensity operations are war minus nuclear weapons.
See, mid-intensity, low-intensity, or high-intensity. This government is not going to take anything lying down.
And what I find surprising, Maroof, is that here we are sitting on the studio on the 7th of January, 2016, after this gigantic mess up. And I don't know what happened to Salwinder. And yesterday, Sambit was not contradicting that either. And we appear, Maroof, you and I appear to be pleading, cajoling, arguing, pushing, desperately questioning, pulling out facts to reason out why this government and its Ministry of External Affairs should have an unforgiving responsibility towards taking on Pakistan. Now, I don't think it's your and my job, but we are sitting here doing it saying, be tough, be tough, be tough, give deadlines, be uncompromising. Sorry, but I'm asking the viewers of the Newshour tonight. I want to say something to the viewers. Viewers, you tell me. My basic question is this. Maroof and I constantly making a position on why this government should appear, not to be giving any more leeway, because your previous positions have been shifty. It's not our job to do that. You should be sitting here in the studio. You should be sitting here in the studio taking on the Pakistanis.
Because of our aggressive stand, because of our diplomacy, Pakistan has moved from deniability to acceptability. That is the change of Pakistan. From deniability till now, tell me one occasion where
I will have to take you on. I'll have to take him on now. Watch it. So Maroof, watch it.
We have given them the red line. We have given them the red line. Act or else we will act.
Maroof, Sambit won't like it, but 1 second. Gaurav, 1 minute.
There is no deadline.
Gaurav, you want the terrorists to be out of the jails and you're preaching. No, this is the truth.
You don't want to hear anybody.
Unless you amend the ways of Samajwadi Party, I am not going to discuss terrorism with you.
PM Modi, if he's
terrorism cannot be discussed by Samajwadi Party because you want terrorists to be out of the
jail. The talk, Sambit.
You want them to be out of the jail.
1 second.
You stood with Yaqub Memon. You wanted him out of jail. I am not going to discuss terrorism with Samajwadi Party. No. Sushil Pandit, I will discuss with. I'll take his questions, but I will not take Gaurav's questions, not at all. The people who are sympathetic towards terrorists have no right to discuss. You have no right. You have lost all rights to discuss terrorism, Gaurav, because you want terrorists out on the street. Sorry. No. I'll take Sushil Pandit's question. I'll take Mr. Goswami.
You don't have that. You can't do that. You can't do that.
No, I will not take Samajwadi Party's question.
You can't.
Azam Khan wanted to go to United Nations complaining of India, and you want him to preach me that.
That does something.
I don't take. Gaurav is a dear friend, but till Gaurav is a Samajwadi Party, I'll not hear him. I'll not hear him on patriotism.
I first of all, to Sambit Patra tonight, it is not proper. Gaurav, one sec. Rules of it. It's not proper for you, Sambit Patra, as a political party spokesperson.
About other issues.
Gaurav, I understood your point. Now I said rules of engagement tonight.
They are the government. No, Arnab, they are the government.
Why are you getting needlessly provoked by Sambit Patra?
What is their stand now? Will they act? Are they calling off the talks? And will they act by teaching Pakistan a lesson? That is what the nation wants to know. Am I not justified in
do not respond to each other at this point of time. And to Sambit Patra, I want to say this, that Sambit Patra, I think it is undemocratic of you to come on the program and say, I will refuse to participate in a further discussion with another political party spokesperson. It is slightly demeaning and insulting towards him.
No, he will start discussing
they wanted to take the issues to United Nations. They said that please release the terrorists who are in jail, and they would be preaching on terrorism. This is absolutely
okay. 7 minutes on the debate, gentlemen. 5 minutes left. And Sambit Patra, you know why you're in the dock tonight? You're in the dock.
Dock? Why should I be in the dock, Mr. Goswami?
This is why you're being grilled tonight.
This is government. This government knows what to do, and I tell you, this whole operation of Pathankot was dealt with iron fist. There was intelligence which was par excellence.
Will you stop? This is not an amphitheater where you're making a political speech. This is not an amphitheater for you to make your political speech. And since you insist on doing so, let me give you a timeline of your Pakistan policy in the government, which many people believe is completely and consistently shifty. Your pre-election rhetoric advocates a tough approach towards Pakistan. In August, 3 months into your tenure, with previously unseen assertiveness, you call off talks with Pakistan after Abdul Basit meets the terrorists. 7 months later, in March 2015, zero change on the ground. You sent Jai Shankar, the foreign secretary, to Pakistan. Now, nobody knows why you did that. A week after the visit, the Pak ambassador meets the separatists again. Right? On a day, the Prime Minister himself says on the floor of the House that the release of Masarat Alam is an outrage, and the Pak ambassador is meeting the separatists again. The government of India after that sees nothing wrong with the meeting, forgetting why it called off talks with Pakistan in the first place in August 2014. So by this time, you've had short-term diplomatic amnesia. Then the government of India sends representatives to the Pakistan Day celebrations, whose representatives include Gilani and the others. In July 2015, and I'm giving you this account so that you realize what the definition of the word shifty is, Pakistani terrorists attacked Gurdaspur and killed 7 of our people. In a muscular approach, Home Minister said, I will not tolerate anything anymore. Then in November, your Prime Minister has a 15-minute chat on the sidelines of the climate summit. Then on December 18, the External Affairs Minister said, let's talk on terror, build faith with Pakistan. Everybody's surprised again that what on earth is going on. In December, the government rejects the idea of cricket diplomacy. In the same month, top diplomats and officials from the government of India suddenly turn around and do another U-turn, and this time say, no, we're extending an olive branch to Pakistan on 3 occasions, including the surprise Lahore hop stop, pit stop. The same government that cancelled talks. And I'm giving the history tonight, and I like the look which you have on the tonight, because you're stunned with the facts of what your government has done. The same government that cancelled talks 1 year and 5 months because of a meeting with the Hurriyat and the Pak envoy in New Delhi, hiccups from squarely stating tonight that it would call off talks after the Pathankot attack. And we are here sitting, Maroof, on the Newshour tonight saying, call off talks for some reason or the other. And the Ministry of External Affairs...
Had you ever seen such kind of red lines?
The Ministry of External Affairs refuses to see reason.
My question is, had you ever seen such kind of
red lines? So I gave you the account so you realize who has the facts.
Simple question.
Maroof is countering you. Between Maroof and Sambit Patra.
Take action. Red lines had never been before.
Firstly, Mr. Patra, my compliments for defending the indefensible.
No, this is not indefensible.
But let me also ask you a simple question. The thing is, why are you still optimistic that Pakistan will deliver? What makes you feel optimistic? What are the signs that are guiding you once again like a misguided missile again and again going back into Pakistan's lap? What is motivating you to go there? I'm sure, as a party spokesman, you're probably privy to some things that Nawaz Sharif has whispered into Mr. Modi's ears, कि मैं उनकी पूंछ दबा दूंगा. Can he do that? I don't think so, because they are an entity, the deep state in Pakistan by themselves. And believe me, even our good friends, so-called strategic partners, America, is not able to arm twist them. So let us forget it.
Maroof, now
let us forget it.
Serious answer.
Just a small observation.
Just a second.
No, small observation and then the answer. Sushil Pandit. Sushil, I am allowing. After that, Sushil Pandit.
Small observation. I must compliment you for one muscular thing in the petition that External Affairs Ministry has made to Pakistan. And that muscularity lies in the apology that it prefaces the petition with. That indeed is the most muscular part of your petition. You can please carry on.
Maroof, your contention that, well, yes, I absolutely agree that Pakistan in the past has never delivered upon whatever we have demanded rightfully. And yes, history always shows the presence. But this time...
No, you want us to live in the past.
Just a second. This time, we have not given them indefinite period. It's not 2611, which is continuing till today without any kind of solution.
I close the debate.
This time, these two words, please mark my words, these two words are the crux of the whole delivery. Prompt and decisive. So it has to be prompt, which, as you pointed out, 15th, probably, I would not jump my guns, but I would say prompt means, I firmly believe, a time frame which is by common sense,
Mr.
quick,
Patra,
and decisive
Mr.
means
Patra,
it has
you would have, Mr. Patra, you would have done India a big favor. You would have done India a big favor if you had added two more words. Prompt and decisive action by so-and-so.
Absolutely, and I thank you all for joining me on debate number 1 on the Newshour tonight.